Hey guys, it's Crystal back with another video for you. I'm doing an update today on the Civic, so stay tuned to see what I have in store. Okay guys, so just another thing that I forgot to mention in my last video. So in order to do a thorough paint job on the car, Georgie had to take out my side mirror. He mentioned early on that it might break while he was taking it out, which is totally fine. I already knew that going into it, and I was okay with it. He provided me with a spare mirror, but what he didn't mention is that the inside actually broke. So and he did not provide me with that. So on top of everything else, I had to spend more of my time, go to a pick apart, buy a whole new side mirror just so I can get the motor pieces on the inside, spend more of my money and now install that. So it's just like one more thing I have to do on top of everything else. So again, not having a happy experience with Georgia Bill. Okay, so that leads me to the introduction of what this video is really about. So today I'm going to be taking off this side mirror here. I'm installing the new motor and the new mirror so that I have it functioning, because right now I've been driving without a side mirror. So the first step is to remove this side panel. I just use this tool to kind of like pry it open. The next step would be to remove these 3 nuts right here, but upon looking at it, I noticed that I only have 2 nuts. I used to have 3 prior to taking it to Georgie Bill. By the way, I haven't been mentioning this, but as I've been picking apart my car, I've noticed nuts, bolts, and clips missing. Just letting you know, Georgie prides himself on his attention to detail, and this is like his $3,000 worth of attention to detail. Not impressed. Anyway. So next I'm going to be using this 8mm socket to remove these nuts. You want to be careful with removing this bottom one right here, because if it falls down into the door panel, from what I understand, you have to remove the door panel in order to get it out, which will not be fun. So try and be careful here. Alrighty guys, so I am over here in the shade now. The mirror is off. It's about 100 degrees outside. It is not cool. So this is the mirror that I got from the pick apart. Obviously you can see it's broken itself, but it's okay because the parts that we need are still intact. I just want to show you the mad overspray that's on my side mirror here compared to the other gasket. So I'm going to go ahead and get this taken apart so that we can replace the motor. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is removing this gasket, which it should just peel off all around. Super dirty. So basically we want to remove this whole inner piece here. I'm going to start off by removing these 3 screws, and then I'm going to follow that with removing these 2. Once those screws are removed, that'll allow the actual base to be removed from the mirror. All the screws are now removed. As I was removing them, this whole inner piece just shattered, but now we can go ahead and remove the base from the mirror. Cool, like so. So next step is to remove these 2 screws right on either side of this plug. So once we get that removed, there is no good way to remove this plug here. What I'm going to have to do is actually depin it, and I'm not very good at it, but I can do it. So I will show you how I get that done, but first I'm going to take off the screws. So there is a Honda tool from Honda that costs over $100 to help you depin plugs like this, but I do have a cheaper alternative, and that is to use a thick sewing needle. I actually stole this idea off of another guy on YouTube. I can't remember his name right now, but I'll go ahead and credit him down below. So what you're going to end up doing is, you see the pins right in here. Okay, so you see the pins right in there. There are 2 little openings. You're going to want to focus on the top part. you'll basically stick the needle down under like the top clip that's there underneath, and you're going to be pushing down like this so that it basically opens up the clip, and simultaneously you will be kind of pulling back on this wire here. So basically you're like unclipping each needle. It is a long and tedious process, but it is a cheap alternative and it does work. So just give me some time and I'll go ahead and get these out. Okay guys, so scratch the needle. The needle also works, but if you want something a little bit more reliable that's also on the cheaper side, this seam ripper is working wonders, and it's actually allowing me to take the needles off a lot faster. So I do recommend this tool instead. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this part into the bottom and push it out just like so. So that was really quick, actually, a lot quicker than I thought it would be. So this is definitely the tool I recommend. And now we have all the needles out, so we can move on to our next step. Now that it's depinned, we can go ahead and remove the old motor from the base. So I forgot to mention that before I took out the pins, I did take a picture of like the color order that it's supposed to be in, and then like where it's supposed to be. So I do recommend doing that in case you forgot to take a picture. It goes orange, pink, black. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I get these in the correct way, and then I will check back in with you. Okay, so this is the easy part, putting them back in. So I have the black one back in, black, and then pink, and then orange, and then they should just click right into place. So I have all the pins in, and now we are ready to reassemble everything. The mirror base is all assembled. Now it's time to get the actual mirror onto the base. So you'll notice that we have these two little prong type things here, and then this little opening where the ball is supposed to be. So I guess we just press that right in. Alrighty, after some force, I finally got the mirror in. It looks good. So everything hopefully should work the way it's supposed to. Now it's time to put the gasket back in. I was going to use the old one, but there's so much overspray on there that I figured maybe I would just use the one that I got from the pick-apart. So let me go ahead and get that on there. Okay, so the new gasket is in place, and as I'm looking at this mirror, I keep seeing nibs in the paint, but just going to try and ignore that. But yeah, so now to get this installed back into the Civic, and I'll let you know what the finished product looks like. Checking back in, the side view mirror is now installed. And it looks great. Finally have a side view mirror. The installation was really easy, so I hope that helped. If you guys have any questions on anybody who is trying to do this at home, please let me know and I'll help you out with that. But yeah, really exciting, but I do have another little something to show you. So the first big reveal that I have are these Civic Type R power folding mirrors. I'm really excited to get this onto the Civic. So basically, you just press one button and the mirrors fold in and out by themselves, which is going to be really neat. So shout out to JDM Ohio Direct for the hookup on these. So you can see that they are championship white, which is the same color as my Civic right now, but they are, it is weather beaten, so I'm probably going to go ahead and get these repainted so that it matches the quality of the Civic once I get the Civic repainted. So I just want to compare the two mirrors, just holding it and comparing it to the mirror that I have right now on the Civic. This one just looks way better. The lines are really nice, and they actually flow pretty nicely with the lines of the Civic that I have now. There is like no anything definition or anything to these mirrors here. I honestly hate them. I think these ones will make it look a lot more cool. They're obviously a lot fancier, and yeah, I'm really excited for these. The next thing I have to show today are these super cool JDM Civic Type R sun visors. So what's really cool about these is obviously it's a different kind of material. The ones that I have in the Civic right now are like a cloth material, and it's all torn up, and every time I put the visor down, little particles of the cloth come and land in my eyes. And another really cool thing to note is that the little warning caution note here is in Japanese, which I think just makes it that much cooler. So I'm going to go ahead and get these into the Civic as well. So it's a really simple install. All you're going to be doing is removing these screws right here on either side, so there are 4 total. Just a side note, the next thing I'm going to be replacing is my sunroof cover right here. Even just doing that, I'm getting like little things in my eye. But it looks like somebody was scratching to try to escape. So scary. Anyway, let's get these on. So again, we're just going to be removing these screws and it should come right out. So now that this is off, you can kind of see what I was talking about. Kind of looks like someone was just having a little too much fun in this car before I owned it. So just comparing the two, right off the bat you can tell that one is vinyl and one is cloth. They're pretty much the exact same size. Although this one's old, it's still in really good condition for being an older part, but it doesn't matter. The fact that it's Japanese just makes it that much cooler. Both sides are now installed. As you can see right off the bat, the color is a bit different than the cloth that I have in the car. Right side is it does match my door panels right over here, but it kind of gives me a reason to reupholster. I mean, this ceiling here, it's really horrible. What's really cool that I wanted to know is obviously this is meant for a right-hand drive, so this is supposed to be the driver's side. It has these little compartments here so that you can put like your driver's license or insurance or anything like that, but it's really cool. It's in great condition and I'm excited to now get this other part reupholstered. Hey guys, so I just wanted to take a moment to thank you all for all the love and support that I got on my last Civic update video in regards to the recent paint job that I got on my Civic. So many of you gave me a lot of really great suggestions on how I can go about fixing my Civic, which I really appreciated, and then some of you even went as far as to reach out to Georgie on Instagram at GeorgieBuilt and confront him on the whole situation. And I mean, I really appreciate that people are so willing to stick up for me in this scenario. He actually responded to one of you guys. So this is what GeorgieBuilt had to say on his Instagram. After watching it, my video, I think I should tell the whole story from the beginning when they first came to me for a quote, what we talked about through when they knowingly picked up the car unfinished. So he says, explain why they handed me $3,000 for the overall paint job, not just a quote-unquote paint job. Framework was done. All new front end was installed, including a radiator support. So he's not wrong. When I went to go see him initially, that was part of the discussion, that yes, he would repaint my car and that he would remove and replace the front core support, which I provided the parts for. In addition, he did agree to remove the front windshield and the side windows to do a thorough paint job. So continuing on what he said, panels were aligned, all glass was removed, new windshield was provided, etc. Clearly wasn't mentioned, ... But again, when I initially took my car to him, that was all included in the price that he gave me. I'm sorry if you guys feel this way, but if you guys want to give an honest review to your viewers, please tell the full story and not just part of it. I can respect any review, whether it's good or bad. I understand as a business we can't make everyone happy no matter what we say or do. But we can and we will always hear you out with any concerns or issues that may occur, and I'm glad to help or resolve any matter to the best of my capabilities always. So great, that's awesome. This next part is what I have an issue with. He says, my customers work hard for their money. Yes, I do. Just as I work my ass off to earn mine, so it's only right I do my best to try and meet my customers' expectations. That's where I have the problem, is I don't feel like he worked his ass off to make my car the way that it needed to be. I mean, I went to him initially, we had a full discussion, he did a walkthrough, he looked at everything that needed to be done on my car. I told him everything I wanted to get done. He gave me the price of $3,000 for all the things that I just mentioned and I read off to you right now. That's what we agreed on. He did not fulfill that. I mean, if I knew that I was gonna get like a spray can kind of paint job, I wouldn't have agreed to do this whole deal, business deal, for $3,000 with him. That's where I have my issue. And it shouldn't have taken 11 weeks to do it. That's also where I have my issue. So I'm going to continue reading. He He says, now I'm not talking about anyone in specific on this part, but there are levels to paintwork, and I think everyone should understand that each level of detailed paintwork comes at a price. What level and price they pick is up to the customer. So if $3,000 gets you a spray can kind of paint job, I'm really curious to know what $4,000 will get you. Yeah, not impressed. Continuing on, he says, please don't expect anyone to give you twice the work for half the price. No one does overtime for free, ... So my issue, of course, when I went to him initially, we discussed all the things he was going to be doing, which included body work, the paint job, and then bringing the car back to him to get the car denibbed. That was included in the $3,000 price. So I don't know what kind of overtime he's talking about, but I mean, I paid him for what he said he was going to do. So continuing on what he's saying, he goes, I try and explain this to everyone who asks about paint jobs because over the years I've had people see some of the work I've done in person and be super impressed because they're really detailed until they hear what it took time-wise and price-wise to get it there, and they say, oh yeah, I don't need all that, but then ask what he can do for them with the budget that they have. So he says, I explained very detailed what I can offer, and somehow they still expect a different level of detail on their project at the end, which isn't fair to me or my customers. So he did not explain to me in detail that $3,000 would get me runny clear coat all over my car, nibs, little dents here and there that weren't filled properly. That was not explained to detail with me. If it was, I would have said no thank you, and I would have taken my money elsewhere. So that was Georgie Built's response to my video and to the comments that you guys were leaving on his Instagram. He actually went ahead and deleted the post that had my car in it, so it's no longer there anymore. But again, I really appreciate all the love and support with this whole thing, and it's nice to know that, I mean, when something wrong happens like this, so many people will come to my rescue and defend me. I really, really appreciate it. So that is basically all I have for today, guys. I showed you how to install the side view mirror and how to replace all the internals on that. I also showed you a few of the Civic updates that I have, and I hope you like them. I still have some more, but I want to wait until a later video to show you. So do stay tuned for that. Of course, if you like this video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of my content. And also, if you could, please hit that notification bell down below as well, so that you know when I am posting. That would be much appreciated. Thank you so much again, guys. Until next time, Queen BRZ, out.
I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too fast.